Okay, are these on? Yes, they are. Otherwise, we'll share one.
Hello? I don't know that mine's on yet.
Well, it's a sharing type of environment, so I'll share my mic with you. So,
Okay,
Tim,
now we're on.
there you go. So, Tim, you have created...
We just followed a rock band.
We just followed a rock band,
Yeah.
yes. That's a hard thing to top.
And they were unbelievable.
They were unbelievable. And now, Tim, you have produced some incredible blockbuster television series here in Hollywood, including Heroes.
Are those for us?
Oh, are those for us? Do we want to?
I think we're all right here.
We're good. We're good standing. So you have created some incredible television series, such as Heroes, which is very well known.
Thank you.
And you are known as the storyteller. So tell us a little bit about your journey as a storyteller.
Well, my journey as a storyteller is kind of pertinent to what I wanted to talk about tonight in terms of using archetypal narrative to create and promote positive change in the world. And but you have to kind of go back to the beginning for me, where I was just I call myself a journeyman storyteller. And working in a Hollywood system, I never really had to think about, or never really got a chance to think about putting a positive message out in the world because I was too worried about finding my next job. And so it took me years of sort of, working in and out of, various traditional, television shows and TV movies and features to finally get to a position where I started to realize that I had actually always been exploring a certain theme in my writing, a very simple idea about interconnectivity, and that this was a theme that sort of kept showing up over and over in my writing. And so I had a chance eventually to do the show Heroes, and what ended up happening was that on Heroes we built this very large fan base and
online community.
Yes, a big online community, and that came out of what has really become this very changing relationship that a storyteller is now having with their audience. Now, the actual format of making television is still exactly the same. You still have writers and actors and unions to deal with and all of the same issues. But the way that you reach the audience has become very, very important. And I started to see that audience was starting to disappear from the traditional, watching television at an appointed time. And they were disappearing to all sorts of various platforms. They were online, they were on mobile, they were emailing one another, they were using social networking. And so the goal started to become, how do you create a relationship that is more than just this one-way street? When you first started, television was really a one-way street. This audience relationship was, you push the content out to them. 2 months later, if they liked it or not, you would find out kind of anecdotally through the Nielsen ratings or something like that, but you had no relationship with them. But with the rising of the internet and the ability to have social, sort of a more social community around shows, you started to realize that you could have this two-way street with your audience. You could actually speak to them, and you could actually create a relationship with them.
And that's actually really important, because how then does the audience become involved in this creative process?
Right. So I had started to, one of the sort of secrets of Heroes was that buried underneath the genre sci-fi feel of the show was really this message about hope and about interconnectivity, and the idea that inside of each of us could potentially be the strength and the ability to make the world a better place. And I started to realize that there was this very big online community that had basically come around the show because of that idea. And so I started to think, wouldn't it be great if you could take that community and that save the world mentality and actually roll it out into the real world? And suddenly, with the ability to reach people where they live on all these multiple platforms, you now had the ability to do that. So I had this vision of using the idea of multi-user kind of online gaming, when the power of social networking to create a narrative that you could live inside of and become a part of. And so 2 summers ago, we did a very big project. There were 130 people working on this project in 5 different countries. It was called Conspiracy for Good, which is basically a secret society that has existed for thousands of years that you didn't know existed, quietly hidden in the shadows, responsible for all of the major artistic, philosophical, technological advancements of mankind for the last 2,000 years. We were just too stupid to know that it was actually going on the whole time. And our narrative basically said that that was bubbling to the surface, and now because of mobile technology, because of the internet, you could be tapped on the shoulder, you could be asked to be a part of it.
And be part of the conspiracy for good.
Yes, and you could insert yourself inside of it. And I actually have a little clip here. I think these guys can show it, and we'll just sort of step to the side.
Yes, because I think it's wonderful to express it, but now let's have a visual connection,
yeah, let's look at it, and then I can
what
explain
this
a little more.
conspiracy for good looks like.
Okay.
Be on your guard.
In 2010, London witnessed the global launch of the Conspiracy for Good, a new form of entertainment called social benefit storytelling, which allowed people's participation inside a story to do real good in the real world. Released across the web, mobile and music, it became the most ambitious cross-platform story ever launched. And this is the story they told. Recording artist Nadira X puts her career on hold to build a library for an elementary school in Zambia. But British-based multinational Blackwell Briggs halts construction of the library to make way for an oil pipeline. Nadira uncovers a document proving the company's claim to the land is false and sets out on an epic journey to London to expose their fraudulent actions. Moved by Nadira's mission, people from around the world joined an ancient secret society known as the Conspiracy for Good. To help her cause, they watched her story across 21 webisodes as they guide her in real time from Zambia to London, deciphering clues and hacking the Blackwell Briggs website. When Nadira arrives in London, the action bursts from the web and onto the streets, with 4 weeks of real-world gameplay and live theatre where conspirators take part in digital scavenger hunts to solve the story's mystery and celebrate the day's action with secret underground concerts. In the end, urgent calls via social media networks result in flash mobs that overwhelm security forces and topple Blackwell's corrupt CEO. And to complete Nadira's mission, the audience use in-story tools to help her build a real library in Zambia, $1 and 1 book at a time.
You can't stop me. No, you can't stop me. If you're not a man. You can't stop me. Not at all. You can't stop me. Be on your guard.
The Conspiracy for Good. Are you a member?
So what made this project really unique was this combination of multi-platform storytelling that allowed you to live pervasively inside of the story, and then this real-world result that actually, took place because of it. And as I said, it was a pilot that was completed in the 2 years ago.
And what has currently occurred with the pilot? So you've completed the pilot 2 years ago, and what has been happening since then? And what is the future of this Conspiracy for Good project?
Well, the idea now is that we have been think tanking it, and because this project took place on the streets of London, and you could obviously follow along online and all of that, but the truth is, it was confined to a very small, little audience on the streets of London. And so the idea now is to take this idea of a conspiracy for good and blow it up in a really big, ubiquitous way with big, ubiquitous brands that you can, a brand that you can involve yourself with, who can sponsor it, causes that are big and ubiquitous, that people have multiple touch points to enter into this, mobile applications, mobile wallet or a mobile payment solution that allows you to live inside of this conspiracy for good, so that the brands that you interact with, the products that you buy, the music you download, the places you frequent, would all live in an umbrella of a shared economy that would allow you to live your life inside of a conspiracy for good, to have a secret society, to trade points with people, to check into an event like this and realize that there are other members, secret members out there, to allow you to be able to trade your points with them and all of that. So it's a giant, in a way, kind of multi-user online game that takes place in the real world.
And it couldn't possibly have a better name, Conspiracy for Good.
Yeah,
so we look forward to seeing the development of this project in time to come, hopefully very quickly.
Oh, yes, stay tuned, everybody.
And in the meantime, you have a television show right now on TV. So tell us a little bit about Touch, which is right now playing on Fox, I believe.
Yeah. So Touch is my current show, and you know, in sort of counter to Conspiracy for Good, which is sort of radically new. Touch is using the traditional medium of television. Stars Kiefer Sutherland and is on a big network on Fox, but it has a bit of a subversive idea inside of it about interconnectivity. This idea that I explored in Heroes of that, you know, sort of disparate people around the world who come together to save the world. All of that idea of interconnectivity was kind of hidden underneath this big genre idea. And I decided to take that idea of interconnectivity and literally push it out into the forefront and make an entire show that's basically about that.
Tim Kring, the producer, creator of Heroes, of Touch, of Conspiracy for Good. And thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, thank you everybody for hopefully watching and for all the support, and to Peter Joseph for inviting me. This was a rare pleasure to talk about using positive narrative to create change in the world, and so I'm really thrilled to be a part of the Zeitgeist community. Thank you.